Hi, my name is Lee Ryan Wilson. I'll be reviewing the proposal Indigenous Standpoint and the Cultural Interface. I am student number 34813767. And I will be reviewing proposal number 96. I'll identify 3 strengths, 3 limitations, any gaps, and give overall feedback. So the first is strengths. I believe this workshop strongly connects to the following idea used, which is the Indigenous standpoint and the cultural interface, with the student using a logical flow of ideas, which is evident in the structure of the plan and the proposal itself. Secondly, I believe the workshop thoroughly critiques Dr. Nakata's concept of a cultural interface and the Indigenous woman standpoint theory, and this is backed up through the use of peer-reviewed evidence. Thirdly, I believe the student justifies the importance of each of the 3 learning outcomes and why they are necessary for community development practitioners to implement into their own practices. My limitations include in the plan of the timesheet, I believe some of the sections are quite content heavy and not all the content will be covered thoroughly in each section, so this might be addressed by breaking the workshop into smaller sections and having the workshop having a longer run time. The workshop proposal is quite dense heavy with references. I believe this limits getting a clear understanding of a point of the workshop straight away. I would address this by putting the aim of the workshop in the beginning of the introduction, which will address straight away and give the reader a clearer understanding. Thirdly, the target audience limits who can come. I think in some practices, community development practitioners work in places that also employ a lot of other types of practitioners. I believe this topic is necessary for all employees to learn and not just community development employees. This might be addressed by making the target audience, increasing the target audience due to this. The gaps that I found in the information include that within the plan, I believe there could be a Q&A session or feedback at the end of the session that could be helpful, as it could be helpful to know if the workshop could be improved next time, or if it was helpful to the practitioners and if they'll implement some of these things learned into their own practices. I find that in workshops that there is quite often a Q&A session or feedback session or a Q&R code that is implemented. So, secondly, I believe that when the student discusses barriers, I believe the student could have added internal barriers, such as the emotional load of the facilitators themselves or the audience, the sensitivity and the cultural safety of having a workshop on this topic. I also believe when the student discusses the target audience, I think they could have justified why the workshop is positioned to frontline community development practitioners and the executive management. Overall, I feel that the student has created a realistic and innovative workshop that can be implemented into many different workplaces where community development practitioners are present. There are some things that haven't been addressed, of which I have highlighted above, but I believe this workshop has been well considered by the student. Thank you.